Okay, so I know I've been putting out a lot of compelling information about King Charles lately, but I want to talk about somebody else that I've been having my eye on since September of 2023 when he tried to broker this peace deal with Israel. I'm talking about the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and I'm going to explain as much as I can why I'm talking about this. I'm also going to direct you to a video by Watchman Adam. I'm going to tag his video on my YouTube channel because you can't click it here. So you have to go to my YouTube channel to watch this video there and click his link to see this 30-minute compelling video about Mohammed bin Salman. My friend and follower here on TikTok, Leslie from the UK, she also helped me put some of this together. So I'm going to try to shorten it as much as I can. But Revelation 17 talks about 7 kings. 5 were fallen, which means deceased. 1 is, which means he's alive now and in power. And 1 is yet to come, which means he's not in power yet. And then from the 7th comes an 8th, which is the same as the 7th. So I believe that's the Antichrist when he becomes empowered by Satan. He's then the beast. So let me tell you why I think it's Mohammed bin Salman. Because the 7 kings came from the 1 king in Saudi Arabia. It's like a genealogy all the way down. The first 5 are deceased. The 6th is in power now. The 7th is the crown prince. And in Saudi Arabia, the crowns are supposed to be passed down between brothers, not a son. Not a son. So Salman, that's in power right now, he handed the crown down to his son. And he wasn't supposed to do that, but he did. So his son is not in power yet, but will be. And Daniel, the book of Daniel, talks about a king without a crown and how he has the power, he wields power, but doesn't have a title. And so right now we see the crown prince has the tools and resources to wield power, but he has no title yet. He's not a king yet. So he's not in power yet. So this royal family in Saudi Arabia have all come down, and now we're at the 6th, and the crown prince is ready to rise. We don't know when, but he is. And so the king without a crown, so he has the ability to wield power, like I said. And then the first seal that opens, that Jesus opens, is the rider on the white horse who has a bow and is given a crown. So right now, Crown Prince has a bow. He's got the ability to wield power, but he has no title. He has no crown yet. Okay? But will when the first seal is opened. That's pretty interesting. I also want you to watch Watchman Adams' video because he shows how that royal family's name, the royal family, adds up to 666. So does Prince Mohammed bin Salman. If you type that in, that also adds up to the number of man, 666. That's just very interesting too. Now I know, myself included, that people have been talking a lot about the COP28 being the Daniel 9:27 7-year covenant with many prophecy. And although these SDGs are significantly important as they will change the world and life as we know it, I don't actually think that's the Daniel 9:27 covenant. I actually believe the covenant that gets confirmed is the Abrahamic Accords. I've always believed that's the covenant. Accords is agreement. So I believe that's the agreement that gets confirmed and strengthened. The Abrahamic Accords that were signed off on September 15th of 2020 by Donald Trump, Jared Kushner, the UAE, and Israel. And it's the Abrahamic Accords is in which people of all faiths and backgrounds live together in peace and prosperity. So it makes sense that that would be the agreement that gets confirmed. Again, this is just my opinion. And since Mohammed bin Salman has been fostering peace negotiations with Israel hardcore since just before the Hamas attack on October 7th, which we know happened because they didn't want these ties being strengthened. They didn't want this peace. The UN had just announced before October 7th that Israel was on the cusp of historic peace with Saudi Arabia. This is why the terror broke out, because they didn't want normalization of ties. And I believe Mohammed bin Salman will complete the deal, and this end this war between Israel and the surrounding neighbors. I guarantee you that that happens. And dividing the nation is the only way to do it, which we know biblically it will happen, and that also biblically judgment will follow. Also, some more facts. The Crown Prince has said that Israel will be allowed to build their temple. That's huge, people. That's huge. Mohammed bin Salman is now building 15-minute cities. He's also in the works right now in construction, building a modern-day Tower of Babel skyscraper that reaches 75 miles high. Talk about mocking God. Plans are underway for a mega project also, which will become one of the largest structures known as the Cube, which is a city inside of a city. You got to see all this stuff. Watchman Adam covers it in his video. You got to watch it. Saudi also is one of the most powerful investment groups in the world called Saudi Investments. Brother Adam also goes into great detail about that. I mean, they own airports around the world, like a huge interest in airports around the world. They're trying to bring big sporting events to their country and trying to make it this big tourist area. They're trying to make it something great. The Abrahamic faith control is something else also. As part of the coming peace deal, Mohammed bin Salman will have full control of the Temple Mount. Listen to this. He will have full control of the Temple Mount. Temple Mount Al-Aqsa is waiting for Saudi Arabia's Mohammed bin Salman, who has a hidden desire to be the guardian of all of Islam's holy places, including Al-Aqsa Mosque. Custodianship of the Temple Mount right now belongs to the Jordanian control, but part of Mohammed bin Salman's normalization package with Israel will be having control over the Temple Mount as part of the deal that he's going to allow the Jews to also build their temple. He may even fund it. So, how much more power can one person have? Just saying. In an interview between Mohammed bin Salman and Bret Baier describes Mohammed bin Salman as a visionary leader, and world leaders are saying the same thing about him. Again, Brother Watchman Adam covers all of this in great detail with articles and video footage. Mohammed also said in an interview, and I quote, "The greatest success story of the 21st century is Saudi Arabia." Also quoting from a covered article in Adam's video is, "The Saudi prince believes that the peace deal he is involved in will be the biggest in the world since the end of the Cold War, highlighting its historical significance." And last, Muhammad's mother is Jewish, so his roots are half Islam and half Jewish. That's pretty interesting. He is bringing together religion, the world entertainment, and trying to make Saudi a tourist hotspot and bringing in the Babylonian spirit. I'm also going to quote something else that Adam said here. It's just very compelling. This man is going to make peace with Israel, and he is, and when he does, it will be the biggest day in the world and in all of history. That will kick off Daniel's 70th week. This man was never supposed to be king. Okay, the crown was supposed to go to a brother, not a son. The king's crown was supposed to be passed down to a brother. And Brother Adam said something else I must quote. Wow. He said, "It's like he survived a fatal head wound." This crown was passed to him. This is so compelling. I always felt that the Antichrist would rise out of nowhere and literally be someone that we would just never expect, never really known, kind of like a surprise, unexpected person. So I'm going to tell you right now, those who don't know their Bible are going to fall for this man's greatness. And folks, we're not looking for the Antichrist, we're looking for Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, we must warn the people and be watchmen, telling them of what's coming.